so as I mentioned, I started at Underbelly in 2013. That's why I've put up a couple of daggy slides about me, as well as Underbelly Arts. So I grew up in Adelaide, and in the outer suburbs, and thanks to Martha Cooper and Henry Chalfont, was exposed to one of my first art loves, graffiti, an art form that utilised space in a most impactful way and really spoke directly about life in the ghetto, identity and fame, and I think is so relevant to the idea of space and art. Keith Haring was my first art hero. I specifically love the way he utilised the blank advertising spaces with absorbent chalk to communicate these very fast one-line drawings to the masses of commuters, a simple idea executed superbly with maximum impact. New York and Adelaide obviously are certainly worlds apart, and it was years later when I started working in film and I collaborated with one of my favourite street artists from Adelaide, Cab 101, Cabism, on a documentary series called My Space is an Amazing Place for SBS. And we looked at not only space as an emotional space as well as physical, and how we transform space by breathing life into a disused abattoir and a graffiti hall of fame. Much later I started working in Sydney at Queer Screen and the Mardi Gras Film Festival, and one of my favourite things that we did there was show a range of early filmmaker shorts with Mag Revolution on a pedal-powered cinema. We showed it at Taylor Square, which is so resonant because it was where the 78ers were jailed in the first Mardi Gras protest, and also a lot of the artists who were screening their works were from the local area, and it was a really amazing way to activate that space and was really emotionally resonant. And it was really hard to power those bikes to make the film go, I can tell you, because I did it and you really got out of breath even though the films were short. So jumping to present time, Underbelly Arts, an organisation founded on the idea that Sydney was filled with talented emerging and experimental artists who were creating in bedrooms and studios, and we provided them with an opportunity to develop and present their works to audiences in large-scale, non-traditional exhibition spaces. To date, we've showed work from over 700 artists and audience close to 15,000 people. The first two were held at Carriageworks in 2007 and 8, and this unique public lab environment idea opened the doors of the studio to the public, gave audiences the chance to experience process, and the artists the opportunity to test ideas and their work on audiences ahead of final presentation. Large-scale installation, performance and endurance-based work, visual arts, music and sound-based work filled the space over 2 years and cemented Underbelly Arts as a significant opportunity in the emerging arts landscape in Sydney. In 2010, we jumped over the road to Fraser Studios in Queen Street, Chippendale. This is largely what that kind of lab behind the scenes gets you. This is an artist working in the lab environment. This is an activated space by Brand X, but as well as, I guess, showing what goes on behind the scenes for the artists, it also really presented a great opportunity with a work called I Can Draw Your Picture, which used each day of the lab to have public create works of their own that formed the end presentation and the end publication that they created for their presentation. So it used the lab and the public in that way to actually create the works within the parameters that they provided. In 2011 we stretched our vision a little bolder and a little wider, and we jumped over the water and went to Cockatoo Island, a site that spans 70 buildings over 80 hectares, and was selected to provide opportunities for artists to push their ideas even further and consider working more site-specifically, whether it be thinking about history, space, the industrial nature of the site, and also working within the limitations and freedoms that a site like this presents. It also gave us the opportunity to grow the organisation and really try and reach that vision of bringing large audiences to the work of emerging artists, and I think that from that time on it started doing that really significantly. Some of the artists, here's Justin's shoulder, bringing the mystery of the landlocked V creature out of the club and onto the convict courtyard of the historic precinct, bringing his work to an audience that may never have seen it, and we really try to create pathway opportunities for our artists, and Justin is presenting with Benji Ra this year at the Asia Pacific Triennial at Goma in Queensland, which is super exciting. We try to, in that broad audience space, engage young art lovers, so we also brought to the island this kind of a more evolved idea of public programs where we would have artists hosting kids' workshops and introducing the work of these artists to broader audiences. This work, Mammoth by the Lot, was a work that enabled audiences to have conversations directly with the heritage architecture of the site. This huge crane and caisson, which definitely has seen a lot of action since the 1900s, and it really took a lot of work with the volunteers and the people that look after this heritage architecture to make that work happen. Another work by Lewis Doherty called Muscles was a work created with 350 tiny little beautiful battery operated mussels. But again, one of those works where he had a very fixed idea, and when he got to the space, he was like, wow, it's really big. And had to completely rethink it, and went and found a shed and found all this wood and took it from the volunteers and painted it white and created the most beautiful ocean of stranded little mussels. And it's a real case study of how we, encourage the artists to rethink their work on the go in this lab environment. We have lots of large-scale kind of performance work. Here's Alexandra Clapham and Penelope Benton, Tableau Vivant, the living picture in French. Marnie Jackson was one of the endurance performers who sat at this table really looking at the spectacle of dining and the spectacular dining environment. It was also where we worked with the Kia Foundation for the first time and created a match funding campaign to crowdsource match funding. We don't have any photos of the festival for this year because they're currently being made, but this is the transfixing gaze of Benji Ra, who is just one of over 130 artists that we're going to present this year. 36 projects, including James and Nicole and Amanda that you'll hear from next. 4 international projects for the first time ever, which is super exciting. Curated public program, eatery kids workshops, and a massive Saturday night party. So we hope to see you all there and see some of the most amazing work coming from Australia.